Ted's faith eventually made him a famous man, not because most Americans of his day knew his name, but because his life of excellence, honor, and virtue made a lasting impression. While Ted and his wife Gillian were not formal members of All Souls, they considered this congregation their religious home. I will be speaking at Ted's memorial service in several weeks, and Wally and the choir will provide the music. In the truest sense of the word, fame isn't the exclusive preserve of people who are well known. In fact, many of the best known people in our world today are the least famous. True fame signals that we've lived with excellence, honor, and virtue. In her poem titled Famous, the contemporary Palestinian-American poet Naomi Shihab Nye highlights this egalitarian aspect of fame. She writes, "The river is famous to the fish. The loud voice is famous to silence, which knew it would inherit the earth before anyone said so. The cat sleeping on the fence is famous to the birds watching from the birdhouse. The tear is famous, briefly, to the cheek. The idea you carry close to your bosom is famous to your bosom. The boot is famous to the earth, more famous than the dress shoe, which is famous only to floors. The bent photograph is famous to the one who carries it, and not at all famous to the one who is pictured. I want to be famous to shuffling men who smile while crossing streets, sticky children in grocery lines, famous as the one who smiled back. I want to be famous in the way a pulley is famous, or a buttonhole, not because it did anything spectacular, but because it never forgot what it could do." In her recently published memoir about growing up in segregated southern Alabama, Condoleezza Rice talks at length about her parents, John and Angelina Rice. They were, she says, extraordinary, ordinary people. They were middle-class folks who loved God, family, and their country. She says, "I don't think they ever read a book on parenting. They were just good at it. Not perfect, but really good. They loved each other unreservedly and built a world together that wove the fibers of our lives, faith, family, community, and education, into a seamless tapestry of high expectations and unconditional love. And somehow they raised their little girl in Jim Crow Birmingham to believe that even if she couldn't have a hamburger at Woolworth's lunch counter, she could be President of the United States." Whether or not Condoleezza Rice will become President of the United States remains to be seen. But it's obvious that her parents never forgot what they could do: love each other unreservedly and build a world of high expectations and unconditional love for their child. In the poet's words, they were famous the way a pulley is famous, or a buttonhole. They were extraordinary, ordinary people. On this anniversary Sunday, We honor especially the famous men and women among us who never forgot what they could do to build this house of light and gladness that we call All Souls. In their honor, and in the spirit of Ted Sorensen, we recommit ourselves to living with excellence and virtue in our time, to being famous in our own ways, both small and great, to making a lasting impression on our community and our world. Ted Sorensen's father once wrote him a letter explaining his idealistic philosophy, or religion, if you want to call it that. Ted's father wrote, "The future of the universe has not been written in any book. It is in the blood and brains of the stumbling human race. We human beings are on our own. Nothing has been irrevocably settled. The job is ours. So I offer you a philosophy of an unfinished world, where there still remains the adventure of building it as we want it, a glorious opportunity for youth to help write and act in the drama of the earth's story yet to be. We are thus, all of us, the small and the big, builders of the universe for all time." I offer you a philosophy of an unfinished world. As members of this storied congregation and as citizens of this great nation, an unfinished world lies before us. It beckons us to the adventure of building this world as we want it. It's a glorious opportunity. Let's always remember what extraordinary things we ordinary people can do. Amen. Happy Thanksgiving. I love you, and may God bless us all.